Hey, I'm Sean Mamola, and I am a condo specialist in San Francisco and the founder of Rises.co. And welcome to an edition of what I like to call Park and Bark. Why I'm calling it Park and Bark is because I'm parking my rear end in this chair and I'm barking out amazing, useful information that buyers and sellers need to know from select individuals that are crushing it on the back end. And today I have a fifth Gobadian from Origin Point, Compass's exclusive lender. Thanks for coming today, Fifth.
Oh, thank you. I'm super excited.
Cool. Let's jump right into it. No wasting time. What do buyers need to know right now?
Okay, what do buyers need to know? It is a phenomenal time to be a buyer. Lenders are aware that the market is slow, so they've done all kinds of programs to increase traffic. One, they have reduced the minimum credit score from 680 to 660. They've increased the debt to income from 50 to 55. They're offering buy down programs, which we'll get into later. And they're offering bank statement loans. There's all kinds of programs out there to enable more people to buy. Even last week, we introduced you can buy a multi-unit with as little as 5% down, as long as they stay within the conforming loan limits. Yep. Great programs.
Amazing programs. And that's why it's so important to have one-on-ones with specialists like Fifth, because I don't feel like this information is pumped out there as much as it should be. So once again, thank you so much. You mentioned a product that we've been hearing a lot about in our weekly meetings, which is the 3-2-1 buy down. Now I got to ask you, what is it? Why do it? And how do you do it?
Great question. The buy down is what banks offer when rates are high. What is it? The seller, instead of doing a price reduction, let's say 5% price reduction, it calculates to about almost a third of that. They put that money into an impound account, an escrow account at the bank.
Can you
money?
Sorry, for people that don't know what an impound account, like
what is it?
Yeah.
They just put it in an account at the bank. That money is used by the bank to supplement the buyer's mortgage. So let's say your mortgage rate is 7%. Buyer for the first 2 years or 3 years, depending on the type of buy down program, pays 2% less than that or 3% less than that, and the rest of the money comes from what the seller put in the bank. So the seller is supplementing the buyer's mortgage. Now, you mentioned 3-2-1. There's also a 2-1, which means the rate drops by 2% the first year, 1% the second year. There's 1-0, which means it drops by 1% the first year, goes back to normal after that. Lots of different variations.
It's incredible. And do you find that buyers are actually, do they come in knowing that these products are available, or is this something that you're basically relying on the advisors, the real estate advisors, to push that information out and make sure? So does the buyer already know, or are they finding out about this once they go for that first tour?
In general, the buyer does not know.
Great.
There are very few buyers that know. There's very few agents that know. So it puts a lot of pressure on the agent that does know to really educate the buyer, the buyer's agent. And it's a lot of work to educate them because it's a complicated concept. Even though it's super simple once you understand it, to get to that point, there people have like a wait, I don't get it. What are you saying? Moments.
It adds on to what could be a really confusing process already, which is home buying,
Exactly.
lending, and
Exactly.
I think another really great point that you brought up was the credit score, which everybody knows. I mean, that's probably one of the first conversations we have is my credit's bad, or
Yes.
I don't know what my credit is. But to know that credit score requirement has actually dropped
Yes.
is another huge reason why the buyers should actually come out right now. So
Right. And I have to just really emphasize, some of the programs I'm talking about is not offered by all the banks.
correct.
Okay, so I had an agent yesterday that called me and said, hey, I found out for loans over $1,089,000 that you don't offer buy downs at Bank of America or Wells. Well, we do. So you really have to
Which is-
understand that we do have a variety of products and a lot of options. So even if you work with another bank, it's good to know what we offer just so you can understand.
Understand it.
And yeah.
So I know another hot topic in our ecosystem, the real estate ecosystem, has been about the insurance, right? There's a lot of talk about insurance companies pulling out of California, because of weather, fires. It's just presenting too much of a risk. And I know that it's all about a trickle down effect, right? Where it hits the homeowner, which hits the lending. So if you could just give me a really quick breakdown or a 10,000-foot view of how that is affecting Origin Point and the conversations that you're having with the buyer. I mean, the first time home buyer, which is really a special niche.
Yeah, so listen, it's not a mystery. A lot of insurance companies pulled out of the market, okay? It's more expensive to get insurance, no question, okay? It actually brought in other people into the market. So farmers, for example, last week said if a house is over 30 years old, you have to have a water leak detection system in there.
Farmers insurance. Farmers insurance. Not the farmers of America, which we love.
Yeah. Farmers insurance, for example, that's right. They said if you have to have a water leak detection system in your house. Okay, you install that, it costs $1,500, then it needs to be inspected. So that makes it more difficult. How do we resolve it? I mean, honestly, I sound like an infomercial.
Go for it. That's what we're here for.
I connected with our insurance company, Guaranteed Rate Insurance, on 2 occasions. They were able to come because it's a national company and solve the issue. Is insurance more expensive? Yes. People are counting on Cal FHA and other sources, okay. But there are brokerages like Guaranteed Rate Insurance that has saved the deal in a lot of cases.
So that's a really important point that I want to impress is that you're going to other folks too,
that's right.
And making sure
that's
that
right.
It becomes a possibility to close the deal.
That's right.
And walk the buyers through.
Yes.
And not just be like, here, sign these papers.
No.
Go get a home.
Yeah, because it affects the debt to income. If you're expecting $300 a month in insurance and all of a sudden it became $600, it can actually not enable someone to follow through. But if you can find an alternative, it makes the deal sweet. It's also affordable for the client. You might be able to afford it, but it might not be what you want it for.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. So the next thing that I wanted to ask you, let's say we're painting a scenario, you're giving a presentation on home purchasing and lending products that you offer. You have 50 people in the audience, first-time home buyers, second-time home buyers. They all have the money in the bank. They're all looking for the perfect home to check all their boxes. They're ready to go, but they're sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
How can you impart to them why they should actually, come from the party? I always say there's a party on the sidelines. We need to bring the party back.
Yeah.
And just not the party, but just why would you encourage them? What would you say?
Okay, I'm going to tell you one thing. It's the perfect time to buy. Absolutely the perfect time to buy. People focus on one thing. The rates are too high. I'm going to wait for the rates to come down. One of the most important tools that I provide is the cost of waiting, which shows that even when rates go down, let's just say 4%. You might save over $1,000 depending on your loan amount a month. That's significant. What you've lost is the appreciation that keeps on mounting on the home that was $1 million. By 3 years, it could be $1,200,000. I'm throwing these numbers out, but appreciation drowns any savings from rate drops. And that's what you should ask for. Okay, what would happen if I waited? What if my appreciation is only 2% in this neighborhood? Even then, appreciation drowns any savings from interest rate drops. And also, there are hundreds of people just in my own database that have been pre-approved and waiting. And when rates drop and those doors open, it's going to be mayhem in the housing industry.
It's going to be mayhem.
Everyone's going to do multiple offers, and specifically first-time home buyers wanting to put 5%, 10% down, they'll be priced out.
Always great to have Fifth in studio with us, and we look forward to having her back real soon. But in the meantime, keep listening to the advice that we're bringing to you. Find out what scenario might work best for you. Get pre-approved and stick around for some more pro tips and real estate adventures. I'm Sean Momola, and I'll see you soon.